In just a few seasons, Kadarius Toney went from being a promising rookie receiver to being cut by the Kansas City Chiefs. Toney's off-the-field issues became problematic throughout his social media accounts and unexplained behavior. He suffered drop passes and unforced errors, which has played a role in his disappointing career. And now, he's currently on his third team at the age of 25. Coming out of high school, Toney was a 4-star recruit. He had offers from multiple schools, like Alabama, Florida, and Wake Forest, but he actually wasn't being recruited as a wide receiver. Toney actually played quarterback. In his junior and senior season, Toney combined for over 6,500 yards passing, 1,700 yards rushing, and 84 total touchdowns at Blount High School. While being recruited by Florida as a quarterback, they made sure he knew he would get on the field even if he were being out for the quarterback job. But it seemed Toney couldn't stay out of trouble in 2018. Toney was pulled over for a seatbelt violation, and during the stop, the police discovered a loaded AR-15 in the backseat of his car. He was initially handcuffed for safety reasons, but was eventually released. From Toney's freshman to junior year, he consistently contributed with limited opportunity. Each year his college stats improved, but he didn't break out until his senior season. Toney's senior season set the stage for what would be a push to become a first-round pick. He had 70 receptions for 984 yards and 10 touchdowns. His best performance was versus #1 ranked Alabama in the SEC championship game, in which he had 8 receptions for 153 yards along with a touchdown. Nevertheless, Toney would lock in a first-round selection at his pro day. He finished in the top 15 for drafted receivers in every category aside from bench press. He showed off his explosiveness by showing off the farthest broad jump of anyone in his 2021 class, while impressing with a 4.38 40-yard dash. Many teams were aware of his character and off-the-field issues, but the Giants were happy to take him 20th overall, as the 4th receiver off the board. The start of Toney's professional career was rough. Everything from contract issues to missized equipment, COVID, and even missing pre-game warm-ups were part of the chaos. After seeing limited snaps while learning the offense, Toney looked to be finding his footing in Week 4, as he had 78 yards receiving. But in Week 5, Toney displayed his potential. He had 10 receptions for 189 yards against the Dallas Cowboys, which is the most receiving yards in a single game by a Giants rookie. That record was previously held by Odell Beckham Jr., but with Toney comes controversy, as he threw a punch was ejected late in the 4th quarter. Toney only played in 10 total games due to injuries and COVID, and finished his rookie season with just 420 yards. Toney has elite upside, but at 5'11 and 193 pounds, toughness and health are a must while playing the slot. Overall, Toney was a highly athletic playmaker with little production. With new head coach Brian Daboll arriving, maybe he will have better usage, as he could play the same role as Stephon Diggs or Cole Beasley. Heading into year 2, Toney quickly became a disappointment, as he suffered a toe injury in week 2 and missed 5 games. He would eventually be traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. When the Giants moved on from Toney, they said they were doing what was best for the team, even though they were losing a dynamic receiver. So the Giants took the 3rd and 6th round pick, and it worked out well for them. New York went 9-7 and made the playoffs for the first time since 2016. But the deal also made sense for the Chiefs. They were trying to win now. In Week 10 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Toney scored his first NFL touchdown. In the 2022 season, Toney appeared in 9 regular season games and recorded 16 receptions for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. In Super Bowl 50, Toney set a Super Bowl record by recording a 65-yard punt return in the 4th quarter, surpassing Jordan Norwood's record of a 61-yard punt return in Super Bowl 50. Toney also caught a 4th quarter touchdown that helped put the Chiefs ahead for the first time all game. The Chiefs would eventually defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 38-35. Now that Toney had the time to understand the playbook and to have a full offseason with Mahomes, he was finally expected to live up to his potential. But Toney underwent knee surgery for a torn meniscus that he suffered in the first practice of training camp. He was able to return for the season opener against the Detroit Lions. Toney had 1 reception for a single yard, and he also had a carry for a negative yard. He had 4 drops in the game, including dropping 2 crucial passes. The first drop bounced to Lions safety Brian Branch and went for a pick 6, while the second drop would allow the Chiefs to make room for a game-winning field goal if he caught it. Toney acknowledged full blame for the mistakes after the game ended. This would end up being an issue all season. In Week 14 against the Buffalo Bills, Toney made another costly mistake as he was called for an offside penalty late in the 4th quarter. Negating that play in which Travis Kelce made a cross-field lateral to Toney for what would have been a go-ahead touchdown with a minute and 12 remaining. The Chiefs went on to lose that game 20-17. The following week he made headlines yet again, this time against the New England Patriots. Toney once again made another costly mistake as he bobbled a pass which resulted in an interception during the 4th quarter. And this was the last time Toney was seen on the field, as he was stated to have an ankle and hip injury. He continued not to play during the playoffs. Toney would yet again start controversy during the Instagram Live, which he claimed he was not injured. With all the mistakes he made, It seemed it would be a long shot for him to make the roster for the 2024 season, and the Chiefs would eventually cut Toney. Kadarius Toney has all the tools to be a good receiver in this league, but he just can't stay healthy, and he's still immature. Hopefully he will turn things around with the Browns, but it seems his career is likely over.